Hello, everyone. My name is Lucas. I'm the CTO of Transition Zero. We're a climate tech not-for-profit based in London. The good news is that most of the world now has some kind of pledge or ambition towards net zero, which is great. We can see most of the world's emissions and most of the world's population covered. The bad news is that there are very few countries or jurisdictions that have any realistic plan to get there. So this is our mission, is providing these tools and services with systems modeling as a service to help these types of countries and all these countries behind us get to net zero. So what this means to us is we need to do systems modeling at platform scale. And so there are two aspects of this. I think the first one, productionization, isn't necessarily as interesting to everybody in the room, but perhaps the research components are. So by productionization, what we mean is by making systems modeling accessible to a whole new set of users, sort of the analyst type user that really wants to work with things in Excel, but they know that they need modeling and they want to be able to run models on their own, change some assumptions, and then get an Excel workbook back. We want to build community and comparability around systems modeling, so allowing people to publish their models openly and then compare their results to others, but ultimately have a place where things just work. So no sort of managing environments on machines, no things worked on my machine, why doesn't it work on yours, no data munging, that kind of thing. But I think more of interest to this community is the research aspects. So if you're trying to tune a model and you want to try many, many different hyperparameters to see if you can backcast some realistic results, you can do that sort of in parallel across many, many different model runs. You can facilitate your boundary exploration. So knowing how do you know that you have the right fidelity of model, either technically, spatially, temporally, and doing lots of model runs will help you explore those boundaries. Sensitivity analysis, of course, we're all familiar with. And then I think there's some exciting applications around sort of tuning solvers and perhaps even machine learning boosting your solving. And we can do that when we're solving lots of models and have actual data to work with. So what does our system look like? This is, of course, the obligatory system architecture diagram. We were initially funded by Google.org. That's the philanthropy arm of Google. So that came with a significant chunk of cloud credits. So everything that you see on the diagram here is horizontal scaling. So we have sort of scripts to ingest data. We have a database cluster. We have our primary core sort of backbone API. And then we have our long-running solve processes. Everything is managed to the access to the virtual private cloud is managed via a gateway, an API gateway that we've built. And then, of course, we have a front end that's deployed separately. We've built a publicly accessible client repo and Python client. And we've also, I think as I mentioned yesterday, we have repackaged Osmosis with Pydantic and LinoPy. And we'll be talking about that later in one of the breakout sessions if people would like to come along. So the two models that we currently support are Osmosis and Pipesa. Osmosis primarily, Pipesa still to come sort of in the next months. And we're using Highs as our solver. So I think this was the more challenging bit, really, to get to this point, is to have a schema that is somewhat framework agnostic. And so as we were building this, we finally realized that actually what we were building was a graph data model. But now we think we can really traverse this data model sort of through a hierarchy of technologies, hierarchy of commodities, hierarchy of nodes to get down to individual records. And of course, we trace all the provenance of data back to the initial source documents and publishers. So our platform today, you can install our Python client. You can check out TZ Osmosis. We have a results viewer that you can have a look at. Things are still very much sort of in progress, so don't hold us, we welcome your bug reports, I should say. So please raise issues on GitHub and help us out as we go. We have a UI, a model builder. So this is sort of the point and click UI. Choose your parameters, hit run, get something that arrives in your inbox a couple hours later, sort of thing. But yeah, stay tuned. We'll be doing sort of public beta, public testing this summer. And yeah, would really love to share more with you guys and yeah, see what everybody thinks. So thanks a lot.